Emerging Technologies Part 2. Cloud Computing. Cloud computing is an emerging trend in the field of information technology, where computer-based services are delivered over the internet or the cloud, and it is accessible to the user from anywhere using any device. The services comprise software, hardware, databases, storage, etc. These resources are provided by companies called cloud service providers, usually charged on a pay per use basis, like the way we pay for electricity usage. We already use cloud services while storing our pictures and files as backup on internet or host a website on the internet. Through cloud computing, a user can run a bigger applications or process a large amount of data without having the required storage or processing power on their personal computer as long as they are connected to the internet. Besides other numerous features, cloud computing offers cost effective on demand resources. A user can avail need based resources from the cloud at a very reasonable cost. Cloud service. A better way to understand the cloud is to interpret everything as a service. A service corresponds to any facility provided by the cloud. There are three standard models to categorize different computing services delivered to cloud as shown in figure 7.12. These are infrastructure as a service IaaS, platform as a service PaaS, and software as a service SaaS. A infrastructure as a service IaaS. The IaaS providers can offer different kinds of computing infrastructure such as servers, virtual machines, VM, storage and backup facility, network components, operating system, or hardware or software. Using IaaS from the cloud, a user can use the hardware infrastructure located at the remote location to configure, deploy, and execute any software application on that cloud infrastructure. They can outsource the hardware and software on a demand basis and pay as per the usage. Thereby, they can save the cost of software, hardware, and other infrastructures as well as the cost of setting up, maintenance, and security. Platform as a service PaaS, the facility provided by the cloud, where a user can install and execute an application without worrying about the underlying infrastructure and the setup. That is, PaaS provides a platform or environment to develop, test, and deliver software applications. Suppose we have developed a web application using MySQL and Python. To run this application online, we can avail a pre-configured Apache server from cloud having MySQL and Python are stock. Thus, we are not required to install MySQL and Python on the cloud, nor do we need to configure the web server. Apache Nix. In PaaS, the user has complete control over the deployed application and its configuration. It provides a deployment environment for developers at a much reduced cost, lessening the complexity of buying and managing the underlying hardware and software. Software as a service SAS. SAS provides on-demand access to application software, usually requiring a licensing or subscription by the user. While using Google Doc, Microsoft Office 365, Dropbox, etc. to edit a document online, we use SaaS from cloud. A user is not concerned about installation or configuration of the software application as long as the required software is accessible. Like PS, a user is provided access to the required configuration settings of the application software that they are using at present. In all of the above standard service methods, a user can use on-demand infrastructure or platform or software and is usually charged as per usage, thereby eliminating the need of a huge investment upfront for a new or evolving organization. In order to utilize and harness the benefits of cloud computing, Government of India has embarked upon an ambitious initiative, GI Cloud, which has been named as Meghraj. https cloud.government.in. Grid computing. A grid is a computer network of geographically disparate and heterogeneous computational resources as shown in figure 7.13. Unlike cloud, whose primary focus is to provide services, a grid is more application specific and creates a sense of a virtual supercomputer with an enormous processing power and storage. The constituent resources are called nodes. These different nodes temporarily come together to solve a single large task and to reach a common goal. Nowadays, countless computational nodes, ranging from handheld mobile devices to personal computers and workstations, are connected to LAN or internet. Therefore, it is economically feasible to use or utilize their resources like memory as well as processing powers. The grid provides an opportunity to solve computationally intense, specific and research problems without actually a costly hardware. Grid can be of two types. Data grid, used to maintain large and distributed data having required multi-user access, and CPU or processor grid, where processing is moved from one PC to another as needed, or a large task is divided into subtasks and divided to various nodes for parallel processing. Grid computing is divided from IaaS cloud service. In case of IaaS cloud service, there is a service provider who rents the required infrastructure to the users. Whereas in grid computing, multiple computing nodes join together to solve a common computational problem. To set up a grid by connecting numerous nodes in terms of data as well as CPU, a middleware is required to implement the distributed processor architecture. The lowest toolkit is one such as software toolkit used for building grids, and it is open source. It includes software for security and resource management, data management, communication, fault detection, etc.